Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well, and sorry about yesterday's 10 at 10 with Nigel from NGB Wood. Total apologies. I don't know what happened. It got to question 7 and just totally cut out. As you know, I've been doing this for quite a while now, so I'm not really too sure what happened. But what we did do is the last 3 questions, we actually put them onto Facebook and Instagram. So we actually answered the 3 questions that we were going to answer anyway. So hopefully no hiccups this morning. It was very kind of weird, but hopefully, yeah, there we go. Right, excellent. Straight away they're asking to that. So let me just view request and excellent morning, which is great, and hopefully no hiccups today. And he says, let's see if they're going to join. Oh God, not again. Let's have a look. No. Let's have a look. I think, because they've requested me, I think it should pop in. I don't know what's going on today. Let's have a look. I'm getting good at this. Hi, everyone. The professional that I am. Right, okay, let me just see what's going on. Accept. Right, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Come on. Right, what's going on? I think I spoke too soon. The kind of Instagram bugs are out there to get me today. Let's have another look. Right, let me try another way. Oh, okay, they're unable to join. Let me invite. I'm going to invite the guys and then see what happens there. Let's try that. That might. Oh, oh, you're right.
Yes, good. Thank you. Yeah, we didn't have the microphone turned on, so we had to go into settings and do that.
That's cool. That's cool. I come yesterday, the first time ever. It got to about number 7 of the questions, and it just cut out, and I don't know what the hell happened. I've been doing this for quite a while now, so anyway, I always get really worried. So please introduce yourself and your business, and tell us what you make and sell.
So I am Anne, and I am one half of the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, and we are a small handmade business down in Battle. We've just moved, Battle in East Sussex, and we make a range of handmade, eco-friendly, palm oil-free bath and body products.
Fantastic. And tell us, why did you set up your business, and how did you come up with your business name?
So I've been self-employed since I was about 20 years old, but in the past I'd always done sort of buying things wholesale and selling them on retail, which didn't leave much room for creativity or just having a little bit more fun and creating our own ranges. And for downtime, I used to go to an allotment that I had, and I grew, all the vegetables and fruits and things like that. But I was also growing some lavender plants, and one day I looked at them and I was like, what can I do with these just to make them a bit more productive? So I thought, I'm going to have a go at making soaps and body lotions and things like that. So I gave it a go. And then originally it was just going to kind of be a hobby. But I decided I really enjoyed it. And I turned to Wayne, who is my business partner. I also live with him. I turned to him one day and I said, I think I want to do this for a living as kind of like, a business. And I was like, do you want to join in with me? Because I knew he didn't enjoy his job much at the time either. So It's kind of a spur at the moment. Shall we give it a go and see what happens? So we did that. And we spent a few months testing and getting friends and family's feedback and just seeing if we thought it could be a viable business. And we decided that we thought it could. So we kind of launched it after probably 9 to 12 months worth of testing and formulating recipes. And we came up with our business name, the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, purely because we wanted something that people could see straight away where we were, what we were about. So we had the handmade in there just to let people know that we are a handmade business. We obviously had Sussex for the location. Initially, we wanted it to be the Hastings Soap Company, but that name we found out had already been taken, which in hindsight was a really good thing because we have moved now. We are down just outside of Dapper, so that could have created some kind of brand issues if we had been Hastings. So that was where the name kind of came from for that.
Fantastic. It's lovely, isn't it, as well, because you hear what goes into the soap, and there's so much, the recipes, the whole kind of science that goes into it. I must admit that my shower gel has run out, and I've got a 9 at the moment using some soaps actually. the person, another soap person that's just joined us here. It's actually her soap, and I'm loving it. It's really, really great. And it's, as we were saying, I think we've been talking about, isn't it? Kind of soaps are really back in fashion again. They're kind of
They are, yeah, they are. They're really making a comeback, and I think it's partly because a lot of people are wanting to go away from the plastic and they want to move back to plastic free. And when they come to handmade soaps, they realise just how different they are to the ones they kind of get in the shops that can be a bit drying and, you know, not so great for your skin. And they try a handmade product and they realise that there really is kind of a world of difference between the two, and they last for so much longer as well. They're really, yeah, it's really good, and people are definitely coming back to them.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm kind of looking at, I mean, I was just doing something earlier about our markets and kind of talking about, you know, our markets as such. And I said that our markets, they said, who is your customer? And I'm like, our customers range from a 5-year-old up to, you know, 95-year-old. Our markets are for everyone. And I think with soaps, it's for everyone, isn't it? A small kid can get very excited about,
absolutely,
you know,
and kind of people you don't expect, because like you say, we've had, you know, like 4 or 5-year-old boys up at our stall, like excitedly picking up everything and smelling it and being like, Mummy, can I have this? And it ranges. And then we get the people who are a lot older and they love it too. And I think perhaps the older people, it reminds them of when, you know, when they were younger and, you know, in their childhood, when bar soaps really were sort of the thing that everybody had. So it really is for everybody.
Yeah. Well, you remember, wasn't it, back in the days, a pear soap? Remember that? And
yes.
they'd have like a small child that then there would be a model for them, wouldn't they? And then you had like came in Imperial leather.
Oh, and if you look back at some of their adverts, I think their adverts definitely wouldn't be allowed in today's society.
No, definitely not. But it's great, isn't it? Because, you know, we're like with yourselves as well, and like with many other businesses, we're bringing something back that you might have thought was old fashioned. Actually, it's good, and it, you know, and also, as what I love about it as well, with, you know, when you see the setup, it's really pleasing to the eyes, because straight away you're drawn to something, or the colours and the smells, and you know, you want to pick them up and smell them, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah, you do. And that's what we like to do with our stalls. We'd like to make them look enticing and kind of, you know, draw people in with the smells and the colours, and we want people to sort of pick them up and have a smell, you know, obviously all being allowed to do that. But yeah, it's nice for people to actually be able to see it all out and smell it and feel it and actually hear the story behind it as well.
Well, what you just said there, isn't it? You know, back in 2020, you know, we weren't allowed to touch anything, you know, and we had all our products. It was all, you know, sealed, and, you know, like our things are about touching them, trying them on, and, you know, so it is really nice now. Yeah, and it's like smell away, you know, have a pick it up, you know, and smell it, which, you know, I think was sort of like with what happened in COVID, it took so much away from us, didn't it? That now it's get out there and have a good old sniff.
Exactly. So, pick it up, have a feel, have a touch.
So whereabouts is your workspace?
So we do a lot of work predominantly from home, just because it's quite nice to keep it all local. But when we have got bigger batches and lots of making that we need to do, we have got just like a little workspace just down the road from where we are, where we can sort of make up lots of batches and get it all set up and all there, curing and made there. Curing,
that's a good word.
Curing, with our soaps,
Exactly, and you know, and just as well, it's what goes into the soaps as well. And you know what you said earlier, somebody that might have dry skin or whatever, you can talk to them the soap that will be, you know, relevant to them, which is, you know, really great. You don't get that. You go to, you know, a local, you know, Boots or Superdrug. You know, you go in whether, but half the time, you know, that they don't know what's in the products, do they? So
yeah, it is, because, for example, we do get customers with sensitive skin. And although we can't market our soap and say it's really going to help, because we can only say that it's cleansing, but we know which soaps are going to be more suited to them. So we've got a goat's milk one and we've got a Dead Sea Clay one. And we've deliberately left them unscented so that they are better for people who do have sensitive skin and are more prone to allergies. So we can then recommend them, we can talk them through what would be better for their skin and what perhaps not to use. And we do get a lot of feedback from people who do come back to us and say it was really good. It didn't cause me to have a flare up, and I'm going to stick with your brand because it worked for me really well.
Yeah, and we were talking about that, you know, as well. Anyone watching this as well, if any kind of products or anything that you like, or whatever, you know, go on and give a review and whatever, because that really helps us as a small business owner. And you know, it's then that you can use that to say this person had such and such, and they use our product. It's then, you know, you're telling the truth. You're saying that person had whatever it might be, and you know, so please remember, all of you guys, give us guys a review, because
Yes, do, because it
it's
does
really
really
helpful.
help. And that is one thing that we have trouble doing. And it's because, you know, they're buying a bar of soap, and perhaps the soap isn't the kind of thing that you typically go on and go, oh, I've got to write a review about it. But like you say, it does really help us. And I think it's that kind of like bad news travels faster than good, isn't it? People are very happy to go online if something's gone wrong and tell everyone about it. But if they've had kind of like a good experience and they like a product, unfortunately, they're often less likely to go on and leave a review. So we do always love it when customers leave us reviews, because it really does, like you say, it helps, and it helps to get our name out there, and it helps people to know what we're about and that we've got a good product.
Yeah, and you know, it's really lovely. That's probably something that I might pick up on our May event, because when I'm at the May event, obviously I am, you know, I am curated, I am the host, and it's great. I go and talk to the customers, so you don't realise I'm outside in the foyer, you know, asking them who they like. And also, you know, that's a really nice thing to actually start asking people of the feedback. Who did you like? What did you like? And all of that. But I do it anyway, but also, you know, and then, you know, say to them, you know, give some feedback to us, because, you know, it's good. And also what people like and want at our events, because obviously with May, our next May event, there's 27 brand new businesses, which I'm like, wow, it's actually half of them that I do. It is. It's like, oh my God, you know, like, but then it's like having to sort of not train them, but, you know, going through the whole of how we kind of set up, you know, that it's all kind of easy, but we give you as much information as possible. Lovely. There's lots of brand new people joining today. So hello to everyone. It's really great. I love doing these just to see the amount of people. Thing is, it's annoying because afterwards you can't see those people. You see them joining, don't you? But I wave to everyone, so I mean it. I'm waving, and I'm grateful for you watching this. So have you? They're probably all watching you, not me. Have you a favourite item to create, and why have you chosen that?
So what I love creating is the ones that do allow me to be a bit more creative, because we've got our standard range and our bars of soap, which we make over and over again. And while I still love to make them, sometimes we do ranges that are a little bit more artistic. Like we've got another event coming up next month that we've specifically created some more artistic products for. So I've got one of them just down here. So these are the kind of things I like creating, which is like, that's a soap loaf that we have done. With the moulded soap rose on it. And I love creating ones like this, because you get to kind of experiment with the designs and the colours and matching the scent to the design on top. So this one, we've made these soap roses out of soap dough, which is a little bit like, I suppose it goes like plasticine. So we wait till it goes like that, and then we mould them and create them like you would with kind of sugar craft. And I really enjoy doing those products because they are something a little bit different. And they're just really fun to do, and I like seeing how they look when they're kind of made up and cut. And yeah, so those are probably my favourite products to create.
I love that. It's almost like you're cooking, isn't it? As well. So a soap loaf. So you make a loaf.
We do, yeah. So
and then we slice it, yeah.
Chop it up, yeah. That's exactly what we do. And yeah, it is. It's very similar to cooking in a way, because you have got the science behind it, where if something's not in there, it's not going to work correctly. And it is all about kind of the cooking up the soap, really, I suppose. And getting yourself a good recipe that you know is going to work well. And going with it. So there are a lot of similarities between, say, soap making and cooking. Except you can't eat the soap afterwards. Don't do that.
No. I get that with candles sometimes. They smell so good. I want to lick them. I think that's wrong. But you know, if it kind of, you know, if it gets you there. So some of the soaps as well that you have, you would have like lavender, fresh lavender in them, won't you, as well? Because that's more like, I suppose, exfoliates as well.
We have the lavender on the top of the bars. We don't put it inside the bars because if we did, it'd go a little bit brown and it wouldn't look too pretty. We have got a calendula soap. We've got calendula soap where we do infuse the flowers in the oil and put that throughout the soap, because they don't go brown, they retain their colour. And we've got poppy seeds in our gardeners, which is gives that kind of exfoliation.
Wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, every time I'm, you know, as well, I learn something new each time with doing these 10 at 10s, and it just talking to you that, like, you know, a soap loaf, you know, it's just brilliant, isn't it? It really is, you know. And you know, it's probably, you know, people looking at your stuff first of all of actually thinking, oh my god, is it fudge or something
We
like
get
that,
that
isn't
all
it?
the time.
Yeah.
Is it fudge or is it cheese? And you know, you can have all the branding you like, and you know, a 6-foot sign saying Sussex Soap, and people will still come up and be like, "Oh, cheese," and you have to say, "No, it's not cheese. Please,
Yeah.
please don't eat it."
Yes, yeah, yeah. Customers are funny things, aren't they? Sometimes, and as you said there as well, that was something I was spinning in this morning about, you know, getting your brand across. And it's actually Vistaprint. They used me to lots of surveys and things, and I then talk about. So they asked me lots of questions, and one of them was all about your branding. And I said that, you know, we need to use branding. It's so important. Any way you might want to do it, it might be, you know, a business card, on your tablecloth, it might be a cap, a t-shirt, you know, and it makes you get remembered, doesn't it? There's so many businesses that they have the most amazing product, and then they have the most, you know, the smallest little bit of signage that then you just forget them, don't you? So it's making that impact.
Yeah, we make sure we've got our big sign, and like you say, we've got the business cards on the table. We have got the branded shirts, which I'm not wearing today because I was making them so couple of days ago and it got messy and it needs a wash, so I'm not wearing that today, but we try and put our brand wherever we can, really, just so people see it and they remember.
Yeah, definitely. It and that's what I was saying as well. It's kind of, you are part of your brand and how you look. So if you walked into a certain shop, you know, of how, you know, when I used to work for French Connection, it was top to toe. I'm actually wearing top to toe French Connection today, actually, but it would be, you know, you are wearing that, and you know, so that when you, I don't know, amount of times I used to go shopping, and the amount of times that people come up to me and said, "Oh, excuse me, have you got that?" without actually me not working in that shop, which I suppose was a compliment. There was one time in Ireland, we were in Dublin, this lady just randomly come up to me and asked her something, and I kind of went, right, so right at the back of the store, blah blah blah, and then I left it. Just, it wasn't there as well. But it's also,
no, you're right.
Yeah, it's also kind of, if I was to look at some of our events and take you away from your stallholder, put a lineup of 10 people, could you then, you know, say, oh, that's that person there? And it's something to sort of think about as well with of how you come across, and what you wear is part of
absolutely
your brand.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like that saying, isn't it, where they say, like, you wouldn't trust a skinny chef, and we like say, you know, you wouldn't trust a dirty soap maker. So it's
true, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. It's about the look, isn't it, as well, you know, and it's really
absolutely
important. Really important. I copper top candles that we did our candle with, you know, as well. Alice has now moved away, so she's no longer doing our events, which is a shame because she was an absolute, but she just put a post out there, and I think she's been at an event where it's people not believing that she makes it, and she's put a picture up, and it's like, yes, I damn well make this. And it is, isn't it, of getting that message across. And it's so disheartening when people think that you sort of just bought it all in and put your name to it. Definitely.
Because that's one thing we weren't anticipating that when we started doing the fairs, because we thought, we make it and we know we make it, and it says handmade in our sign, so everyone's going to know we make it. But the amount of times you're actually talking to people and you say, oh, we make it all, just the two of us, and people are like, oh, really? I didn't know that. And you think, yeah, you've got to tell people physically that you make it. You can't just assume that they're going to know, because quite often they don't.
Yeah, and I think as well, which I have to say, and I've said it over and over again, is because, you know, especially at our events, we have really good quality products there, and a lot of people are you make this, you know, and I think it's that where you have to get that you know, Magic Julie's just said it, definitely you have to get that message across, that you sort of, you know, tell them your story and I make it, because I think they think, wow, that's so amazing. And don't sort of realise. So yeah, and us, there we go, they're all at it now, and yes, we make our own stuff, and you know, and you know, because of that, you know, we got so cheesed off with people going, oh, do you buy these bow ties from, you know, from China? No, and that's why we had to invest a bit of money to have a 3-minute video to show we are the makers, and we're proud to actually, definitely. So we went up and we had somebody come up to us when we first started, and they said to us, oh, where's it from? And we just said, oh, well, we make it down in Hastings, where we were at the time. And she says, oh, so you make it yourself then? And we said, oh, yes. And we thought she meant, you know, where are we based? But what she actually meant is, you know, what country were we buying it in from? And it's like, no, it's not brought in. It's made by us, you know, 20 miles away. Definitely. And I think Julie just said, I think we should all, maybe take that as a compliment, but also, but just making sure, and that's why I chat about you guys, just, interacting with the customers. Once they know that you've made it and you tell them that story, they're sucked in. They just want to invest and buy, don't they, as such? So, have you been working on anything new this year at all? Anything you want to show?
So we have been working on a couple of new products this year. Yeah. The first one we have actually created. We've got our little clay face mask, which we launched for the first time over the Easter weekend.
Lovely.
We saw Wayne testing them on Instagram, actually.
I was going to say, I saw the lovely model Wayne testing them.
Wayne, so we tested them. So we've just launched them, and they seem to be going quite well, which is good.
Wow.
People are loving face masks. And we're also working on a shampoo bar at the moment too, because ever since we first started, one of the questions we got time and time again was, do you do a shampoo bar? And we didn't, because we were finding it really hard to actually formulate a recipe that didn't have palm oil in it, because I say none of our products do, and it's not something we're personally ever going to use. So it took us a long time to come up with a recipe that we thought was going to work, but we have got one now, which seems to be working. It's still being tested. I'm testing it on myself. I've been about 8 or 9 hair washes now, and it seems to be holding up and lasting quite well. So I've got to get through all of that testing. The bar's not gone down at all, so it's going to be a lot longer. So it's going to be another few months before we can actually launch that. But fingers crossed, get there with it.
Brilliant. And I love as well the clay mask that you just showed, because in a tin, I mean, I myself, I do like a little facial thing, a little treat. But if it's in a squeezy thing as well and whatever, and actually I'm terrible as well. I'll cut the end and there's a whole load in there. But actually to get a tin and get in there, because you want to sort of, if you're buying something, you like with a candle, you want to go right down to the bottom. But also, if you're buying something, you want to scrape it right out, don't you, as well? And just get your money's worth, and
especially when you are spending that little bit more for handmade, which obviously it does cost more. There's no denying that handmade products cost more than the ones you can pick up in the shop. So when you are spending that bit of extra money, you do want to be able to get every little last bit out of it and be able to enjoy it all right down to the bottom.
And with like the tins, is that something that I know that some people do? If they were to bring that back later, would you offer give them another one, offer a discount? Is that something that you might do? I know that people do that. That's not something that we don't do. It's not something we do at the moment, purely because I need to look into it more and see if that would actually be allowed under the cosmetics regulations. I think it probably would, but without knowing, it's not something that we offer. Yeah, no, that's fine. I know a lot of other companies do, so I presume there is a way to do it. So it is something we could look at doing down in the future, because that would definitely help as well with the whole recycling and customers getting a little bit of a discount too, which is always good. Yeah, exactly. And if not, afterwards, wash out and they can, take the label off and use it for something else. I do that all the time. I'm planting at the moment, and the other day I just finished my Marmite, washed that out, and I put some, little plants to grow in it, because it's, the actual shape of the Marmite is so iconic, and I thought, I'm not throwing that away. So I'm a bit terrible, plastic bottles and bits to grow in and all of that. No, I'm the same. I've got my tomato plants going at the moment and my chilies, but little pots and tins, they are really good. And when you've got spare seeds, you open the packet and it rips and they go everywhere. Those little pots can be really handy just for sort of decanting the seeds into. Exactly. There we go. Another top tip. We'll have a top tip on. There we go. So as you know, we have an ethos about being friendly, creative and unique. Is there an ethos or something that inspires you at all? I think it is generally just, especially when you're selling at fairs, always sort of be positive, keep that smile on your face. We like to say just treat every customer to your stall like they're the first customer to your stall, because when you're somewhere for say 2 or 3 days, by the end of the 3rd day it can start to feel that you're getting a bit repetitive, because everyone's kind of got their sort of sales pitch, haven't they? And when you've said it over and over again, it starts to feel like, in your head, it's, oh God, I'm saying this again, it's really boring. But that customer's hearing it for the first time. So you've got to kind of keep it fresh, stay positive, and treat them all like they are the very first customer of the day. Yeah, definitely. I love that. And it's so important, as, just to have a little blurb to entice the, this is what I make, and get them, to engage with you, because there is nothing worse, and I've been there, I've done it, I've stood there in front of a stall holder and just silence, and it's the worst thing ever. You know, and it might be that I'm looking at that stall, and it might be that it's, you know, might not be specifically something that I would buy, but it's, if it's jewelry or something, it might be I'm looking for somebody else, or you know, or whatever. But then when there's that silence, it really, as a customer, it's horrible. Even if you want to say, are you having a nice day, anything you're looking for, just, you know, as you'd expect when you walk into a shop. And that's what we're trying to get across. Come on, this is a department store, that's what we're going for. And if you walked into a shop, and everyone's getting it now, you know, so, you know, in May as well, I will be looking, making sure that everyone, if you're going to sit there and arms folded, body language, you know, and then you haven't made good sales, then we know why.
No, it's all about sort of talking and interacting.
Yeah, and exactly, and it's really nice because there are, as you say, there's two of you in the business, and you know, it's really lovely. You'll say with Wayne as well, and you know, he'll be surrounded as well. There are lots of guys joined us now, you know, and you know, there's male makers, or there's the husband or the partner, and whatever, and it's really nice, and I love that, and I love the fact now that we have men that love coming to our events, so that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's what we've noticed. So even in the last sort of year or two, we have noticed a lot more men being at events. We went to an event at the start of the year, and before we got in there, Wayne was like, right, I'll get used to being the only man in the room again today. And we got in there and actually counted them up, and there was a good sort of 10, 12 other men on other stalls selling, and he was like, oh, yeah, here today. And it was so there definitely are more men coming into it, which is good to see. It's nice to have that balance and have sort of everybody all, you know, joined in together.
Exactly, and you know, and the customers love it, you know, and it's really great. You know, and I think, you know, I've said, if there are like two of you running the event, or you know, doing your business, you know, as this weekend we are Dapper and Suave, and I can't wait, you know, because I get really excited about us being Dapper and Suave and selling together. But also we both have that passion, and also when you have somebody else there selling with you, it's great that you both have that same passion, that you know exactly what goes into it, instead of having that person there that doesn't have a, you know, they're just there for a day out, and just, you know, they have no interest in your business. And I always say, if that person is there just for a day out and they're not there to work with you, then, you know, maybe don't bring them along, because you know, it is, isn't it?
No one can sell your products as well as you can they? It's like, you know all about them, you've put the time and the love into creating them, and no one's going to sell your product as well as you can.
Exactly. I don't know if you ever do it, but do you have a competition, you two, to see who can kind of sell the most, or like, I'm going to get this sale?
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. In fact, at the fair we were over just over Easter, Wayne made the first sale, and he sort of gave me that look and went, there you go, I'm one up. So we do. It's kind of like, and it is fun. It adds that little kind of competitive element, and it is, it's just something a little bit of fun, isn't it? See who can do.
It is. You know, I remember we were at an event last year, and you know, we were there as Dapper Suave, and you know, and I'm just going to go for a little walk just to get away, because it went a bit quiet, and these two ladies came over, and they were quite hard-nosed, if that's the word. They were quite stern and whatever, and I said to Rob, well, good luck on that. I come back. I came back, and he went, sold our most expensive candles to both of them. I was like,
but it's fun that happens though, isn't it? Because that does happen. We had, for Christmas last year, we'd introduced a kind of gift set, and it was more expensive than our regular kind of items and our regular gift sets. And I think it was about £40. And we put loads of stuff in it, and it was that kind of like, who's going to sell the first gift set? And like you, I'd gone off for a wander or to do something, and came back, and Wayne was like, I sold the gift sets. I was like, oh no, well, I wasn't even here. I said, that's not fair. So he was like, you know, he had the glory for that one.
And it's funny, because it's sometimes with customers how they are with, you know, and sometimes, you know, we were at an event once, and we had our new, it was beard oil, but we changed it to nourishing oil. And the next minute, Rob had these 3 Surrey housewives around him, and he was going, and he put the beard on the oil, and they were all like touched. And I just stepped away like I was invisible. And I just kind of moved away from the stall, and he sold to all 3 of them. And it was just, sometimes it is, isn't it? Just sort of like, you know, they're doing that sale, and then, you know, it's how you interact with different people, which is great. A bit of
I think Wayne seems to be a hit with the old ladies, for example. They love him, and stand there and have a laugh and a joke with them and chat them up. And it's like, oh, he's there, and he loves it, I think, and they do too.
And then, you know, that's the things I do for business. but that was something, you know, in my last job in French Connection, and I came in there as a supervisor and I left as a, you know, assistant manager. But I was in there and I knew that I had to change things. And one of the things was of bringing guys in as well. And it was really important, just getting rid of sort of, let's just say, there was a little bit of a toxic environment in there, which I kind of had to kind of shape up, and, you know, people kind of left of their own accord. But it was great because you'd have like this 19-year-old guy that was just a hit with the older ladies, and I'd see him selling, and he was just amazing. So yeah, it's having that mix of different people. It's almost, even back then, I was curating the staff to fit in so that you had the kind of the family as such there that kind of worked. Just when customers would come in, they'd feel comfortable with different people and go to different people of who they would sort of be comfortable with. So yeah, there we go. So what would you say your goals and dreams are for this year or beyond?
Well, for this year, we just want to carry on as we are at the moment. It'd been really nice to grow a little bit more. Obviously, with the way the economy is at the moment, we don't know if that's going to be viable to grow massively this year. In an ideal world, that would be what would happen. We already wholesale to a number of stockists around sort of the Sussex, Kent areas, but we quite like to kind of try and grow the wholesale side a little bit more as well. But just keep going, keep selling, and keep enjoying it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now that's top to it as well, isn't it? Enjoying what you do. It's so vital. Like I say, you realise, I realise as well, when somebody is not enjoying it, then you know they're not right for our markets, because you get that vibe. I spoke about that yesterday. So we've got to this question, so hopefully we're still here, because yesterday it was and cut out, so we're getting there. So who is your support network?
So we've got loads of different people that will support us. I mean, predominantly it is kind of family members. Both of our mums are really supportive with everything, as are the rest of the family. You know, my brother and Wayne's sisters will often buy our products, and you know, it's kind of like they're not the families that will kind of like ask for discounts or freebies. It's their kind of family that will go onto our website and they'll purchase direct from us, and they'll pay the postage, and we'll see their order come in as if it was any other kind of order, which is really great. But they're also there if you kind of need to just talk about things or go for advice and things like that. So family and friends are really good at that. And obviously you've got the other stall holders at events. We've got the people that follow us on some of our social channels as well. They're always really supportive and give us lovely kind of feedback and hints and tips. So we do have a really nice wide support network of loads of different people, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's the people as well, isn't it? That you say, the family, the people that buy from you. And I expect when you first started that it was your family and friends, and then actually going out into the big wide world, and then people that strangers were buying from you. It's a buzz. I don't know about you. I still get that buzz when I'm selling. It's it's great, isn't it? Yeah. We were at
the weekend when we sold our first face mask at the weekend when we launched them. It was just kind of like, that was me, myself and Wayne, and my daughter was there too, and all three of us were there, and she was buying it. And at the end, after she walked away, we were all like, we sold one of the new products. And it is, you get that buzz and you get that excitement, and that's what I love. And it is it is
definitely that, you know, and that buzz, I don't think it ever goes away. Even on Etsy, when it goes ka-ching on what we sold, it's still the same feeling as that, or a customer as such.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got Wix, and Wayne's got the little tone for Wix for when we get an order, and we call it the cosmic xylophone, because that's what it sounds like. But there's a ping, and it's like, cosmic xylophone's gone off. What we sold, and we have to log on. And it's like, we've got another order come through.
Well, we kind of need it, because obviously when we do events, everything is now linked. So when we're at an event, obviously if we sell, we have to quickly grab it in case we've only got one cravat or something. So we have to be very kind of like quick, you know, sometimes with our phone, just when we hear that ping, because there's nothing worse than all of a sudden, or then again saying that, because, you know, we don't have vast amounts of fabric, so we only make a certain amount and then reorder. So it's that kind of like, oh, have we got it at home? There we go. We'll do a little happy dance. There we go. When the ping goes off. What events are you doing with Curated by Dapper and Suave?
So we are doing, I think it's just one we're doing with you this year at the moment, which is the 22nd and the 23rd of June down in Dorking, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, in Gildings Barn, that one, yeah,
That's
which is
one.
our
That's the one.
yep, that's our first time we've ever done that event there. But you know, I think it's going to be an absolute amazing day. You know, we're going to have you know, the food and drink element, the workshops, the live music. So yeah, that's going to be a really exciting one, and set in an absolutely amazing location. You're going to absolutely love it. We were there on Thursday, and the sun was shining, and I touching wood, we want that sunshine for the 22nd, 23rd, please, because it will just, yeah, definitely, because it will just, you know, it's, you know, the outside bit of it as well, and yeah, so it'll be great. So, you know, and obviously with you guys as well, it was, you know, just trying to tie in the dates and bits. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll have you for, you know, because we're going to have Dorking Halls next year and that as well. And, you know, as I was saying, looking at another venue that we're going to be working with, so which is really exciting. So a Christmassy kind of market, which we're hoping might be more than one day. So watch this space on that one.
Yes,
but it's great because it might be a bit smaller, more intimate, but it might be on, you know, that we're specifically looking for the soap, the candle, the art, blah blah blah, and then just change it accordingly. So
I think we would have done more with you, yeah. But I think we discovered you sort of quite late on this year. It was only a couple of months we discovered you actually, and that's by that point you were booked up at a lot of events, or we were already booked up at other events. So hopefully next year we will know about each other. Definitely, yeah. Some more with you.
Yeah, and you know, with it as well, it's because, you know, we look at each of our categories and then making sure so that when we're looking at the soap people now, we would make sure there is just one of you. There might be a chance that maybe we can have two, and actually that is something I think is really quite, well, I think it's quite a nice thing that I do, where sometimes I might go and ask that other person, oh, this person, what would you feel about them being there? And half the time they're different to me because we're all different and unique. But I give that, and I think that's a really nice thing to actually say and offer, so that, you know, I'm not then saying to that person, well, you're the only soap person. And if there was another soap person joining, I would then, you know, ask you and how you felt about that. And if you said no, then fine, you know. And it's I think that kind of makes you stand out a little bit more as well, doesn't it?
It's nice. But, it's nice to think to ask, because like you say, people are so different. There's so many different kinds of soap and bath products that you can do. So, you know, we do the cold process soap, but other people may do melt and pour, which is an entirely different product, and it kind of is marketed to an entirely different kind of customer base as well. So although essentially you're all doing soap, it is so different, and it appeals, like you say, to so many different people as well.
Definitely, you know, and there's so many different people that like different things, and you know, and as well, isn't it? And that's always quite nice as well. Why do you know, sometimes as well, as somebody's bought a candle, why did you go for that candle? And it might be because I had a really good chat with that person. It might not necessarily be about the product. It might be because I had a really good conversation and they were just, you know, oh, I wanted to buy from them. So
it does, you know, in your mind. It's funny that you say with candles, because last year we were at the South of England show, and I got chatting to another man at a candle brand, and his candles were different. They had done kind of like the celebrity candles with the pictures of the celebrities, and I wasn't going over to actually buy. I was going over to chat to him, and I had such a good conversation. And I looked at his candles, and he had one with Cher on it, so I had to get that one. It was my brother and his husband for their little anniversary, and I thought it's got to be. So just through that conversation with him, I was like, I've got to buy your candle, and they loved it, and it was a perfect anniversary present for them, and they thought it was fantastic. But because of that conversation, I did buy from them.
But equally there as well, is it something that men means something? You know, who doesn't love Cher? You know, God bless her. You know, we got to see her in concert, and she is just she's just amazing. I just think she's great. So yeah, and it is, isn't it? That then you've seen something that, oh my God, that's perfect for that person, and you know, you weren't specifically looking for it. It kind of found you in a way, and then they enjoyed it as well. Yeah, love it. So that's what's great about it. And so the last question is, why did you choose to work with us?
So we chose to work with you because we actually became aware of you through somebody else who I think trades with you. I think it was somebody called By the Seaside. I think, not 100% sure, but I think it was them. Because I followed their work for a while. Yeah. we've met them a couple of times. I've actually purchased from them for my mum as well. And they put up a thing saying where they were going to be. And I thought, that looks interesting. I'll have a little look. Like I often do when I see people posting about fairs. And quite a lot of the time you'll go to the website and you'll see the details and you'll be like, no, it's not quite right for us. But when I went to your website and had a look around, I really liked kind of what you were about, what you were offering. And I thought, I'd really like to get in and join this and see if it works for us, because it seems like it would. It seems like you share a lot of the similar values to what we do in regards to being handmade as well. I love that it is the handmade aspect. So that's why we decided to give it a go with you.
Cool. And I love that. And as well, this year there's been quite a lot of other people that work with us who have then put people forward, and it's really, really nice, and equally, what happens then is, you fill the inquiry form in, I give you a phone call, but believe it or not, it's quite sad when people have actually whatever, and then they cut the inquiry form, or I'm too busy, and if I'm still waiting 2 weeks down the line, and I'm like, if you can't be bothered to actually fill an inquiry form in, and I don't think I want you at our events. It's as simple as that. It's something so simple to do, but their life is so busy. I'm just like, okay, all right, then fine. But that's really sad, because that person has actually said, oh, they're a really good product, and they've actually brought them our way. But equally, there's been some really great people who have come on board. So I kind of at the moment looking at some food people for June, and the other day it was like, I know they've seen the message. Just tell me if you're not interested. And still, there are some people that haven't even replied. And I just think, come on. A couple of them actually
really
popped up on this video. Yeah, it's weird. And they've even popped up on watching these videos. And I'm like, oh, are you interested? And so, it's fine, but it's, I'm trying to do...
sort of jump straight in. I just want to sort of storm ahead with everything and just, like I'm there sort of like, I want to do this. Now I'm going to jump right in and go for it. I just sort of...
Go for it, exactly. Go for it. Yeah. Go for it. It is, isn't it? It's sometimes just going for it. And, and as well, there are some people who kind of, I'll come along to your event in May and see what it's all about. And then I'll sign up. But I'm like, but I don't have any space. It's and that's how it's going. We have limited space. So it's kind of, we might keep a couple back for that specific, but, it's getting there now, isn't it, as such? So
Well, you want to fill up your spaces and know that you've got a full hall and that you've got people all set up and ready to exhibit. So you can't leave it to sort of a couple of weeks before an event and then go, is there space for me? Because that's just not going to be, is there?
The funniest one was somebody filled an availability form in, and then I offered them November, and they said about they couldn't get a babysitter, they couldn't get childcare. I'm like, okay. Okay, that's how many months until November? So there we go. Anyway, so we will share this onto our Instagram, Facebook, and also onto LinkedIn and our YouTube channel. So really looking forward to seeing you guys in June. I'm going to start getting that all promoted onto the website listings. It's I know the May one, but just getting that out promoted as well, which is really great, and then start sharing that with you guys. And hopefully by the end of kind of next week, we should be full with just a couple of, it's the food people that we're really kind of looking for outside. And it is a Wednesday, Thursday, anyone. So anyone foodie people watching this, please get in touch. But there's a few people just,
I love the food.
Need to get back.
The best.
Yeah, because we need good food, don't we? Good food and drink, we got some really good, there's Crumbs Brewery there. We've got Sicily Streets, which is arancini balls. We've got Ronnie B with her sauces. What else is there? There's Delight from the Dub, so tea, coffee, Prosecco. We've got Custom Spirit, so we're going to have some rum cocktails.
Very nice.
So exactly. Great. And there's food stalls at Horsham Market. There we go. I think I might venture out there because I found some people before, because it's good as well. I'm thinking of you guys, so we can have some nice food too, isn't it?
Yes.
Excellent. The joys of being a stallholder, isn't it?
They're always the stalls I gravitate towards. It's always the food stalls. They're the ones that are trying to draw me in.
Exactly. Well, really great to speak to you and see you in person as well, which is always lovely.
To speak to you too.
And you have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Speak to you soon. You too. Bye.
Bye bye. See you.